think a lot of people thought that the last episode was a clickbait because I did not share my sexual fantasies. Honestly, I'm not going to share any of my sexual fantasies. Maybe with friends that are really close to me, I would, but it's not really sharing, it's more of throwing out ideas of these kinds of fantasies. I am willing to share it with someone really special and maybe somebody that I can make all of these fantasies come true. Hmm. Well, it's that special and you should too. So take it from me, you should too. It's not something that you want to give away to everyone. Hey stranger, welcome back. My name is Lee and these are Decapitated Thoughts. I'm thinking of redoing all of the topics for season 2. But this time, I'm gonna look for either an expert or somebody who has a totally different opinion than my opinion. If you're an anchor, I'd be happy to hear your voice note about any of the topics that we have. And if you're from somewhere else, listening somewhere else, feel free to drop me a line. My email is linotegami@gmail.com. So that's LINOTEGAMI@gmail.com. I'd be happy to hear from you and we can arrange a recording, maybe over Anchor or some other mediums. Just let me know. I'd be happy. So, I promised you that this episode would be all about it isn't all about me all the time. There's actually two sides to this story. It can be you're really the type of person who easily get depressed, and when things do not go the way that they should be, you look internally and you feel as if everything is your fault. And it is something that does not only happen with your relationships, but it's something that happens to you in every other part of your life. The other part is, well, I think we have, especially girls, I'm not saying every girl, but especially girls, we have this thing where we like to be the victim, where we like to play as the victim. I guess I fall on the third part. I'm very guilty of playing it as a victim, but the only difference with most people is that I'm aware that I'm doing it, and I'm doing it. I'm totally clear. I'm doing it out of vengeance. I'm doing it out of anger. I'm doing it in bad faith. It's not good, but at least I'm aware. So, yeah. That's the third part. But let's talk about the two sides of the story. It's not about you all the time, particularly in breakups. When your relationship does not go right, it doesn't mean that you screwed up. Always remember that in a relationship, there are two sides of the coin. There's you and there's your partner. And I've thought about this 100 times, that maybe I'm not really good with relationships because there's another person involved. Because now when I make decisions, I have to involve the other person. And I am totally aware of that. And a lot of people are not, because we like to romanticize a lot of things, particularly the idea of becoming one. Get into a relationship as a whole, not as a half. The two persons and the two people in the relationship are as important as the relationship itself. And I think a lot of us do not really see it that way. So when something breaks the relationship, There are people who would look internally, and I know that you love the other person so much. What happens is that they kind of take away everything. So it's just like that ABBA song, "The winner takes it all." Like you play all your cards, none of them went right. So now there's no one else to blame because the other one won and you lost. In reality, in breakups, there really isn't someone winning. Always remember that the other person is also losing you. So you are both on the loser's side. He lost you, or she lost you, and you lost them. You lost him or her. You know? So don't take it against you. If something goes wrong with your relationship, separate yourself a little bit from it. Because it's not all your fault. There is another person involved. And aside from that, there are a lot of other things involved. It could be timing. It could be circumstances, location, distance. It can even be the people surrounding you. It could be your friends. Sometimes people say things that they don't know are actually shaping the way that other people think. And sometimes we can just be so tactless and say words, say things that instead of helping them with their relationship, we're just really helping them separate. But in the long run, maybe it was good for both of them, but the hurting could have been avoided. I'm also guilty of listening to other people because sometimes it's just really so hard to make a decision by yourself. Because if you do that, sometimes when things go wrong, then there would be nobody else to blame but you. We can take responsibilities in so many things, but I think it's so hard for us to take responsibility, not just with our own lives, but with the relationships that we create. Anything that's just really close to us, we try to look out, and we're more responsible for things that are not directly involved with the relationship. May it be a romantic relationship or it's a relationship between you and your family. I think it's quite a pattern for a lot of us. It's seldom that I meet people who really can detach themselves from these kinds of things. Therefore, they don't really look at themselves as someone who's solely to blame for an action. Yes, you might have contributed to what happened within your relationship, but it's not entirely your fault. Always remember that. There are three main components in a basic relationship: you, the other person, and the relationship. But there are secondary components around you. You have time, location, the people around you. We've said that previously. But I just want to repeat it. So just that you'd get the idea and you'd get to understand that outside of your bubble, when both of you are outside of that bubble, it just really depends on how well you know each other, how good you are with each other's psyche, and you release each other into the wild, that they would come back to you the same day without being without listening to other people or being influenced by other people or by other circumstances. So don't blame yourself. The other side of the story is just really a person who likes to be a victim. I don't really get it. So the first story is that they would shy away from the spotlight. They'd probably wouldn't want to talk about it, because when they talk about it, they realize it more that it was them, that it was their fault. But these set of people who feel like they're victims, they want the spotlight on them. They want to feel, they use the tragedy to actually feel empowered. I don't think me being aware of doing this and those people who are not aware of doing this, I don't think we have the same intentions. For me, I do that, number one, because I'm mean. Number two, because it's the easiest way for revenge. If I get people's sympathy and they get angry with the person too, it's like justice had been served. But these other people, and don't get me wrong, I'm not the only one who's doing that, by the way. I know girls and I know guys who would do that too, for the same reason. But it's really hard to admit, it's really hard to tell yourself that you're doing this for all the wrong reasons. The other side, again, would be people who just wants the spotlight on them. They have this romantic idea that if they use this and use this to their advantage, they would emerge as a survivor. Honestly, I don't think, well, honestly, now I know that the relationships that I have been, they do not define me. Whatever mistakes I have made, they do not define me. I thought I had a pattern, but it's just really how the brain works. We always look for patterns, and that does not define me. So I can't say that I was victimized, because honestly, I went into that relationship and I know what can happen. I'm aware of what can happen. I know that one day it may succeed or it may lead to a breakup. I know that. Maybe after the breakup, it's just really sad, And maybe I'm just really looking for reasons to get angry so that the moving on process, the moving forward process would be a lot easier, because I would have reasons not to stay in one place. But I've never seen myself as a victim of anyone. It's a part of my life. It happened, but it doesn't mean I'm a victim. I stood up for myself. I dusted myself off, and then I left. And what I don't really understand, and you might know someone who's like this, or maybe it's you. I don't really understand why people like portraying themselves as a victim. It's a romanticized idea that people would come and save you and people would rally on your side because you were the good one. It's very vain. It's very vain. It's so conceited. And sometimes it comes to a point that it's just really plain, I'm sorry, disgusting. You were aware of what's gonna happen, especially if you had been in that relationship for a long time. There's just really no point in playing the victim. Unless, like what I've said, you can admit that to yourself and you're doing it for other intentions. That's a totally game changer, because now you're not a victim. You're just using that circumstance to your advantage in a different way. Maybe the next part is also a good advice to me. I would say it, I would preach it, but I don't think I do it. I think I do the opposite, because it's just really hard. It's okay to cry. It's okay to let your emotions out, but stop chasing. I don't know how many times I did that. Okay, so I did that because I don't really want to have any regrets. I don't want, like, after 3 months or after a year or 5 years or 10 years, I wouldn't be stuck, but I would have that thought of what if, what if. I just don't want that. So, yeah, but maybe I should listen to my own advice. And most of us would have to. Sometimes we know what we have to do, but we just don't do it. And I don't really know why, but sometimes we just don't do it, but we know what we're supposed to do. So feel the emotions. It's fine. It's okay to cry, and it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be sad. Recognize that. Try not to chase. I can't say don't chase, but try not to chase as much as you can. Yeah, as much as you can. So, when people would hear me say that it's not all about you, that the reason of your breakup is not you, I get mixed reactions. Some girls think that it's very empowering. Well, the first group of girls, or the first group of people, not just girls, but the first group of people would think that it's really empowering that I tell them that, or that they get an advice like that it's not them. But for the second group of people, they think that I'm raining on their parade. They think that I'm taking away a moment. Yeah, they actually think that I'm taking away a moment from them. But honestly, I'm not. I'm just being honest that it's not all about you. And it took me a lot of years to realize that. Well, it took me a marriage and a separation to finally be able to separate myself from the situation. And that's fine. Would I wish I knew these things before? No. I think I learned them exactly at the time that I should. So I'm happy I did not. I can't even say that I'm mature. I have grown, definitely. But maturity is something that's something to be achieved in a very long time from now. Yeah. So always think about that. It's not always about you. In a relationship, there are three things: you, the other person, and the relationship. So if something goes wrong, you break up, it's not just you. A lot of things are there. So detach yourself away from the situation. Whatever went wrong, that's just not your story. It's a part of your story. Stand up, dust it off. You're not a victim. You're not surviving. What you're gonna I guess you're gonna be a survivor of the heartache, but not of the relationship. Because the next part really is the heartache. And you weren't victimized. Even if the other person has cheated, you weren't a victim. And you realized that. You stood up, you dusted off, and you walked away with all of your dignity. Now, that is more spotlight worthy. Yeah, that's really more spotlight worthy. Your story, your mistakes, your past relationships, the bad decisions that you've made, they do not define you. Thank you so much, stranger, for staying and listening. And I'm so happy that you're here. And on our next episode, let's talk about, is it okay to block someone? Well, this is a personal topic for me, but I guess it's part of a feeling that I want to process. So, yeah, and this happens more on the guys' side. They block more girls than girls block guys. So, we'll see about that. And if you want to weigh in on this subject, you would know how to reach me. I just gave you my email. So, yeah, please stay. Please come back, rather. Please come back for our next episode. I'll see you. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.